I just want to start off by welcoming everyone to our information session today for Make a Change Canada. We like to call this Find Your Fit at Make a Change Canada. Today is Thursday, June the 22nd, 2017, and I am Anne-Marie Edgar. I'm the Executive Director of Make a Change Canada. I've been with the organization now for over 10 years, and it's really an amazing organization, largely because of the people that come to us to be served through our programming. It's just been an amazing part of my life over the last 10 years. And yeah, let's just get on with the session, and I'll introduce you first to the staff who's joined us here today. First, we have Douglas Tardif, who is our team leader and business coach located in Ontario, right on the Trent Severn Waterway. So Doug's also been with us for 10 years, and it's just great to work alongside Doug every day. Secondly, we have Mary Alton, who is our employment case manager and resides in Moncton, New Brunswick, just close to Moncton, New Brunswick, in a lovely seaside town that I've actually visited last summer. So Mary works very closely with helping to get clients assessed onto some plans in the program, and really keeps us all going. She's really the engine behind a lot of what happens here at Make a Change Canada. Thirdly, we have Kelsey Berg. Kelsey's located in Nelson, British Columbia, which is also where I'm located. And Kelsey is our service coordinator, really a student coordinator working day in, day out with students in our IBGE program. And if you've called us on the telephone, you've likely spoken with Kelsey, and she's super helpful and always available to help you with any of your career-related queries and any question whatsoever. We're always happy to provide you with information along the way. We also have Tricia Cooney in the classroom today, and Tricia is our communication and development coordinator. Today I'm actually located where Tricia is, which is in Vernon, British Columbia, and we're involved in some pretty intense meetings and doing some planning going forward, and including, as I mentioned, sort of looking at our format and how we're holding these information sessions. That's all a part of meeting with Tricia here in Vernon today. And finally, we have Kaylene Selleck, and Kaylene is actually a graduate of our own IBGE Web Essentials program. Kaylene lives in Surrey, British Columbia, and she is our technology coordinator here today to help out with any issues experienced in the classroom. You can private message her through the chat area, or she's also here just to record the session and keep everything flowing nicely. So again, welcome to our session, and I'll just move along to the first slide. So today, what I'm going to cover in this session is some background on Make a Change Canada. Also, who are the participants served through our program? I'll get into some detail. Also some detail on our particular programs and services. A topic that really excites me is labor market information. So I'm going to really get into some of the exciting topics to do with the labor market right now. Also, because we're a registered charity, I want to talk about how you can become involved in our organization, be more a part of it if you're so inclined, and how you can help out and help others through being a part of our organization. I'll close off by listing some important dates, some upcoming events and whatnot, and then finally just some contact information. So during the session, we do like to encourage you to participate. Do feel free to use the chat area if you'd like to ask a question. You can definitely stop and answer your questions along the way. You can also raise your hand by clicking on that control if you have any issues or would just like to stop and ask a question or make a comment. And also, you're more than welcome as well to use your microphone. And just a brief mention that if you do have any background noise happening, just mute your microphone, please, just to avoid any interference happening with sound. Thanks so much. So just to begin, Make a Change Canada is a national charity. We were founded in 2004, and we gained our charitable status in 2005. We were formerly known as the very dry, I must say, Canadian Society for Social Development. And I like to say that was very 2005, but we did reinvent ourselves in 2015 under the new name Make a Change Canada. Originally, we got our start through the Community Futures organization, and for Jordan in Ontario, that's similar to the CBDC organizations out east, which are community business development. So it really came from an entrepreneurial basis, and I really believe that we retain our entrepreneurial focus to this day. We are a virtual organization, and we have employees in BC, Alberta, Ontario, and New Brunswick. To date, we have served over 2,200 clients through our programs. It's always good to touch on our mission. So just what are we about here in a nutshell at Make a Change Canada? Make a Change Canada develops and delivers business startup and web technology training to people facing challenges to employment. This training is delivered from our program websites and features a self-paced and supportive learning environment. Through our online curriculum and our skilled and caring service teams, Make a Change Canada is empowering others to realize their full potential. So visually, we have two programs currently at Make a Change Canada. We have the IBGE Web Essentials Web Advanced program, as well as the Business Abilities program. But as you saw from our mission, at the heart of it really is a caring nature, and therefore at the center of the visual, I've really got the heart. It's really about all the people, it's about our staff, it's about our clients, and it's really about connecting in a meaningful way and helping to hone in on what people want to achieve in their lives and really fostering that momentum going forward. Here's a visual of our team. This is from a few years ago, but it just shows you how we can still really connect as a team online. And this is from a particular Christmas party that we held. And you'll see a couple of familiar faces within these photos. And down in the right-hand corner is Kalinga, who's, as I mentioned, here today to record our session. This is really interesting, and I'll just give you a little bit of background of where these word art visuals come from. In 2012-2013, we conducted a full research project studying our clientele and our programs. It was done under a really qualified researcher with a great background in disability studies as well as educational research. And even though all through the years we receive the applications coming in, we view them, it's not until a population is studied and described and quantified that it really hit home for us. I literally, the hair was just standing on end on my arms, and I was just getting chills to really get an in-depth look at who we're helping in our programs and what their thoughts are about our programming and how they think about their lives. So this is really what came out, and I thought it was nice to represent the results just through some word art. So our clients are educated or lacking education. So there's a wide range there. Our clients are youth, right through to older workers. Our clients are employed or unemployed. Underemployed is quite common. Some of our clients have a good experience in business, and some are just starting out fresh. Some really don't know what they want to do, and they're here to do some career exploration as well. A lot of our clients are caring for others, so they've got dependents who are relying on them and place an extra strain on really their lives from day to day. They may be caring for their children, for their elderly parents, or sometimes they've got custody of grandchildren. There's foster parents as well. A lot of our clients are people living with a disability. That's been a large focus of our organization over the years, And so we really know a lot about working with people with disabilities, and it's an area that we really enjoy. And then really interesting is that there are parents with children with disabilities as well that come our way. And when you have a child with a disability, depending on the severity of the disability, it can be really difficult to hold down a career and to keep your employer happy when you're always having to attend to that child's needs. And we've literally had some clients who have lost their employment because their child has a disability. And this is really their last hope, is to come to our organization and make a new start of it and find something that's going to fit with that lifestyle. So where do our clients live? Our clients literally are from coast to coast and up into the Northwest Territories, Yukon, and Nunavut, right from Haida Gwaii, the Queen Charlotte Islands, all the way to the tip of Newfoundland. So all over the map, and you can see that it's a really spread out and equal and expected sort of representation based on where the populations lie in the country. So it's really great to be a truly national organization and learn a lot about the cultures and the economies all across the country and all the communities. Just as another visual here, I really like this because it shows really the diversity of our clientele, just as I described from the word map. And what's really common, though, about all our clients coming to our programs is we find them talented, very determined, and savvy, but quite often our clients are just stuck, and that's really what brings them our way. So I'd like to start off with a success story, and I'd like to introduce you to Colin Collins from British Columbia. And Colin actually took our programs earlier on. He completed our Web Essentials program in 2007 and our Web Advanced in 2010. He is a successful programmer now, building websites that are fully programmed, and he calls his business Keen Computing Solutions. Colin is a wheelchair user, and what led him to us initially was that he had an interest in technology to begin with. He was actually working as a volunteer in a computer lab in his community, and he had been promoted up to become a supervisor and then had a paid position, but he was having to commute an hour and a half in both directions, literally, and it was causing him physical pain and a deterioration in his health. So then he discovered our program, our online web development program, and just saw immediately that that would be a good opportunity, and he hasn't really looked back since. And actually to this day we remain connected with Colin. Through the years, he's helped us with some PHP programming on our websites, and then he worked as a peer tutor for us. And really, what we're really proud of now is that Colin's working as a teaching assistant in the web development program for us now. So he's back and he's back and flourishing, and also continuing to build some websites on his own. I think what really stood out for Colin when I take a look at his testimonial is the support that he received. And he said the instructors were always helpful to provide the support when needed, and also they were very impressed with his work. So he definitely did excel in the program, which I think explains why he's continuing to help others today. He's got that upper end knowledge. So some detail on the IBGE Web Essentials Web Advanced program. First off, just to explain what IBDE stands for. It stands for Internet Business Development for Entrepreneurs. That's how the program was originally known. But I have to say that the program, and really the labor market's changed so much since 2005. It isn't about just entrepreneurship. It's really about the tech sector. It's about the digital economy. And so therefore, once we saw that people just aren't becoming entrepreneurs by taking the program, they're actually becoming employed and getting some dream jobs as a result, we really changed our focus, and we're sort of dropping the old acronym IBDE over time. So it's an online college accredited program in web technologies and design. It's open to anyone who wishes to apply. There is a pretty stringent intake process involving first an application, a skills assessment, a 30-minute interview as well. So we are looking for suitability and the ability to complete a program independently. The ability to do independent study online, which not everyone has, but I can say that pretty much everyone who comes our way is really motivated and isn't really excluded. So there isn't a lot of exclusion. We get a lot of qualified, able and willing candidates coming our way for the program. There are two programs, Web Essentials and Web Advanced, and currently the Web Advanced program is in progress. We're just about 1/4 way through. There's 4 courses in the program, and currently students are taking PHP, and then they'll take the MySQL portion of the program. There are still openings for the next 2 courses. We are teaching tools for search engine optimization following that, and then WordPress CMS, and in particular putting a real blogging perspective on, which is really a must in today's digital economy. You must have a blog, and that's really at the heart of really the promotions, the digital promotions. So it's a great set of courses, and yes, there are still some openings for the last 2 courses running this summer. Web Essentials is starting up this October 2017, and yeah, we're accepting applications for the program on a continual basis as well. Some details about the program. You're probably wondering about costs. The fees for the Web Essential program is $3,995 plus a software fee, which varies a bit, but it's certainly under $1,000 and generally around $500 to $600 for the software fee. The cost for each Web Advanced course is $495. So the skills gained through the program is pretty up to par and comparable to a lot of web development programs. We introduce proper website layout and design theory. We're teaching Adobe Photoshop for web, HTML5 and CSS coding, JavaScript and jQuery is sprinkled within, Bootstrap. In terms of building a mobile custom design website, we teach Bootstrap and light coding tools. And there's e-commerce with PayPal integration, designing for mobile, web marketing. There's blogging taught, and PHP MySQL web programming, which is a really hot skill in demand today, and as well WordPress CMS. So yeah, we're covering pretty much all of it, and it's all done in a 6-month time period for the Essentials program and 4 months in the Advanced, which makes it really doable for people facing other challenges in their life, or really just wanting to ensure they can complete a college program. The shorter time frame makes that a lot more possible. The really great thing about the Web Essentials program is that there's a practicum component, and students build a custom website during the program for a business or organization in their community or for themselves. I really think that there's a practicum component to the Advanced program as well, where students are building a WordPress site, self-hosting it, learning all that, configuring it with a really good blog as a part of that WordPress site. This is really exciting to me. As I said, we used to think of the IBDE program as only enabling entrepreneurship. But when I really started talking to graduates coming out of the program, first what we noticed is that graduates were getting jobs that were really good in nonprofit, real estate offices, chambers of commerce, community futures. And you wouldn't think of those as technology jobs, but the reason why they were getting these jobs was because they could walk in the door and say, I can update your website, I can do your HTML email, I can properly file manage, I can write your blog, I can even do a little bit of design work for you. So we found that administration, moving into good administration jobs, is a career path, and we do have people coming into IBDE to polish up their resume and get some current skills that they're going to be able to go out into the labor market and sell to potential employers. So this is really neat to see. There's also work as virtual assistants, communications coordinators, technical customer service representatives. We've definitely seen people move into all those areas in their careers. We see people moving into really vibrant careers in marketing and communications. And in particular, we'll see a client come in who has worked sort of in the old school world where it wasn't digital, and maybe they were an event coordinator, some sort of a facilitator, or they were doing marketing, but it was largely paper-based, and they're trying to do the digital, but they just don't have the skills. They come in and they get IBDE, and we are seeing people's careers really literally take off. I was talking to one graduate last year, and we were just talking about the opportunities in the labor market in the tech sector, and she said to me, Anne-Marie, there's so much work out there. And then she got quiet. And she kind of went silent. She says, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. Like she's almost fearful of how much she's going to get called on to do work, because I don't think she likes to say no. But anyway, the end result is that people are able to be really picky and choosy about the type of work that they're able to take on. So they can be quite selective and really choose the work that motivates them. So we did have a graduate last year move directly into being a social media coordinator with a national television station. You know, this is actually occurring. So social media coordinators, we had one graduate who strictly is developing banners for social media. So it's all available and possible out there. In the information technology area, of course, we do have graduates who are working as web developers, either self-employed, but if they want to go out and be an employee, there's generally an opportunity to start off as a junior developer. We see people who have been working as web developers also being mentored by other web developers in the field. So that's really nice to see happening as well. You know, the learning never ends in technology. So there are web and graphic designers, all this sorts of thing, webmasters, like systems admin type work, end user support. So that is definitely all happening. And yeah, just to close it off, we definitely do have clients still developing their own websites for their businesses, and then they're able to manage and run and maintain their own website without having to pay a third party the really exorbitant rates that are being charged in the tech sector today. So this is super exciting. You know, that's why it sort of takes a while, because there's just it's really bloomed. There's so much opportunity when you pick up these skills as a job seeker or an entrepreneur. Here's another great example from one of our graduates. This is Cam, and he's from Ontario. Now, Cam completed both the Web Essentials and Web Advanced program in 2013, and he's gone on to hold some really interesting jobs along the way. I'm just going to read actually an email that he sent us one day to you. He says, "Hey all, I've had a really good week. Here is some good news. After notifying a job coordinator of my completion of IBDE's program, I received a job posting via email Tuesday. I contacted the company Wednesday and landed an informal interview the same day. I had a 15-minute meeting with the head of the company in the afternoon and started 8 a.m. the next day for a work trial. He goes on to describe how he finished a project. And then he says it looks like finishing school in a highly popular field was a great choice. So he officially was able to start a job after a work trial. What I really like about this is it shows the importance of working with multiple agencies if necessary. So if you need the support, then we can, you can see the result of him working with a job coordinator, getting some training through us, receiving some support through us, and then right away getting a job. Cam ran into some hurdles during his time in the Web Advanced program. Like Colin, he was another top-of-the-class student, really strong study skills, really dedicated, and just excelled in learning these skills. But he does suffer from a mental health issue, and during the program, everything got out of whack. He actually has lives with bipolar disorder, and he blogs on bipolar disorder. So Mary's actually pasted, she'll paste the link to his blog in the chat area. I do encourage you to visit Cam's blog, because he writes about bipolar disorder, and he really paints a strong picture of what it is like to go through an episode of either an extreme low or an extreme high. And it's literally scary. Like it scared the bejeebins out of me reading his testimonials. I just couldn't imagine what he goes through when things get out of balance in his illness. But anyway, Cam was able to reach out, and because we have a supportive program that's meant to help deal with difficulties and stumbling blocks along the way, he reached out to us, let us know that he was in a bad spot. He says, look, give me a week, I'll get this straightened out. And surely enough, he was able to stabilize his situation, moved on to complete the program and graduate. So we're super proud of what Cam was able to achieve. And when I recently connected with Cam, he was working as a end user support at a financial organization in downtown Toronto on the 21st floor. I was just thrilled to hear this. So he was doing end user support, and he was also working as an inbound sales consultant selling technology products. So he's got some great opportunities going ahead now and continues to never give up on achieving a career for himself. So it's really motivating for me, and we'd love to stay connected with Cam and hear how he's doing, of course. This is just a visual showing a number of our graduates from graduation ceremonies over the years, and you can just see all the happy faces. So we do love to attend the graduation ceremonies and celebrate alongside our graduates. Last year, we actually had 5 graduates attend, and as you know, our programs are online, so our graduates are from across Canada. So to get 5 together was a pretty neat happening. It was really neat. And I like to joke about this because, as you can imagine, as you can see there, our graduates were just symmetrical in height. And I love this photo. It's so neat just to see everybody evenly spaced out there, and it was just meant to be. So it was a wonderful celebration, in particular last year with our graduates. I'm wondering at this point whether I can ask you, have you identified with any of the stories shared so far? Would you like to share what your particular career goals? Anything at all? Do you have any questions, any comments? I'll just pause for a moment and feel free to type anything in the chat area or pop onto the microphone if there's any way that we can address any of your questions or comments right now. Maybe I'll just give Kelsey a bit of a heads up. Since I started off by talking about the Web Essentials Web Advanced program, Kelsey, I'm just wondering if you have anything to add to the information that I've given. I'm wondering if maybe I missed something that you like to highlight yourself, or any comments?
Thorough, but I do like to just sort of mention a little bit in terms of the culture that we create at IBGE. In my role, as Sean knows, he's been through the application process. I, meet students by phone or in Skype right at the get-go after they submit their application. So it's nice that we develop that personal connection right from the start. And then, as we move through the program, I am constantly in contact with students. We even have students, contacting each other through the student forums, through Skype. Students get into Skype and meet with their instructor. We have a live virtual classroom, just like GoToTraining that we're meeting in today, where we meet together as a group. Despite it being an online program, I think that we really do develop a certain, culture within the student group, and every year it varies, depending on who's in the group. I notice even from year to year that some of the language that the students use, because they spend so much time, connecting with each other, they develop this language for the particular intake. So, this year students had nicknames for other students and for the instructor, not mean nicknames at all, but just kind of funny little terms that they would refer to things as. So I think it's nice to mention that, even though it is a completely online program, you are getting that personal connection with staff and other students. And we like to have lots of fun.
Well, that's a super good point. Yeah. And that's super important, right? I know that I did an online program through Athabasca University as an adult, and I'm still in contact with some of the other graduates. And it's nice to have that community. And I think in terms of the web development program, especially when it's technology, and the opportunity to connect with some potential colleagues, because one student might have an interest in, say, the design end of things, where another is interested in the programming or the SEO, and there can be some potential colleagues that you develop, some people you can rely on as you go out and work in the field. So, yeah, great point, Kelsey. Mm-hmm.
In terms of, when you're working with code especially, there's these little tiny typos that can happen in your code that create, some issues. And so sometimes if you're sitting there staring at your code for so long and you're not able to identify that particular typo, you can call in another student and say, hey, I've been staring at this for 35 minutes and I just can't figure it out. Could you take a look? And, if fresh set files can sometimes be the key that you need there.
Nice. Okay, well, great. Thanks for that. And Jordan, I can see you've got your hand raised. So just wondering if you've got something we can help you out with there.
Oh, actually, I had a comment. Mm-hmm. And because sorry. So I did identify with some of the stories. I think I put it in the chat too. And because it was especially coming from a sort of a recent illness. I'm bouncing back. But it was still very, it made things difficult, as I just came out of I came out of college for graduating for accounting not too long ago, and but I had a lot of difficulty trying to get myself a job. So I decided that I wanted to sort of work for myself. And with that, I discovered a talent for, I always had an affinity for technology, but I discovered a talent for also drawing and design as well. So people, asked me about that to help them with that. So I thought, I could maybe make a career out of that. So that's what really brought me here. Nice.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of opportunities in freelancing even today. So, and there's a lot to be said with dedication and good client service. So even working virtually, Jordan, you can make a name for yourself and develop some loyal customers, right? So, I mean, that's just one opportunity, but yeah, no, it's wonderful to see you moving in a new direction. And I think what really strikes me is that you're picking up on what you feel passionate about and you've got a skill in already. So great. Thank you very much for sharing. And I'm glad that the time feels right as well to take that extra step. Any other comments or questions at this point? Okay, well, I'll move on to the next segment then, and looking in particular at the Business Abilities program. So Business Abilities is also an online program in entrepreneurship and career planning. Participants explore self-employment and decide whether to move into business planning or the preparing for employment stage. So this is really important to make a solid decision on whether entrepreneurship or self-employment is the right choice for you. So we totally support an exploratory stage, and should a client decide that maybe they don't have the resources, maybe their health situation isn't suited to self-employment, maybe their family isn't in support of them becoming self-employed, or for whatever reason, maybe their business idea just isn't viable, then they can move into our module to prepare for employment and receive assistance with preparing to go out into the labor market and find a job. So we provide that service as well. If they move into the business planning part of the program, that involves business planning, starting with researching a business idea and then preparing financials right through to preparing a business plan. And I think the really neat thing about the Business Abilities program is that it isn't a set duration. So the program isn't 12 weeks in duration or 3 months, 4 months, or 6 months in duration. Generally, our clients are in the program from 9 to 12 months doing their business planning. So it allows the flexibility and to work around some of the highs and lows of just how we're in flux with whatever challenges we may be facing. There's a huge focus on business research as well. We truly believe in the business plan, no matter how small the business idea is. Even if you are self-funding your own business, or if you're going to family or friends for what's called love money, so a loan, we really believe in completing some form of a business plan, even a basic one, to feel reasonably assured that you're going to be able to pay off your family, your friends, and most importantly, pay yourself, and not get into a venture that's literally really a waste of time, right? I mean, you deserve to be paid for your hard work. So it's important, and we truly believe that. And that's the basis of the business research and of the Business Abilities program. Business Abilities, unlike IBDE, Business Abilities is only for people who do self-identify as living with a disability. And that, at last census, was 15% of the population, and it's even higher in the maritime provinces. They're running often an 18% level of people with disabilities. So it's a lot of our population who are facing health challenges and disabilities, and we're here to help them should they wish to explore and move into self-employment. The intake in Business Abilities is continuous, so we generally have an intake every month. So I mentioned earlier that from our research study, this visual actually comes out of that research study as well. And it shows the prevalence of the different disability types of clients coming into the program. You can see that there are an awful lot of clients living with mental health issues, depression, lots of anxiety, bipolar disorder. So yeah, there's schizophrenia and in some cases and whatnot. Then there's all the health issues. Really prevalent as well is mobility issues, spinal cord injuries, back issues, pain, lots of pain, which was really surprising to us. So many of our clients have ongoing pain issues. And then there's diseases. We do have clients who have been blind or deaf. There's a lot of just hearing impairment or visual impairment as well, so not full blind or deaf. I'm seeing sleep here. But yeah, I hope this gives you an idea of the variety. But what I can say is that there is no disability type that we do not accept into the program. There may be people who have learning disabilities, however, who maybe lack some of the competence in, say, math, or would have a real difficult time doing a business plan. But that's not to say that through receiving some help in their community through a support agency, it is possible to still participate in the program. So we've seen fibromyalgia, I see in there, all over the map. So it really makes life interesting at our end, for sure. So how does the Business Abilities program work? At the heart of it is the Business Abilities website. So everything runs from the website. There are modules on the worksite, lots of reading material, worksheets to work through to do the work of preparing for the business plan. There are webinars online at least every week or often twice a week to attend, often on marketing topics, social media. We also have a set of sessions that go along with the worksheets in the program, so that for those people who are visual or auditory learners, they can benefit from having a presenter go through all the worksheets and just really do a good orientation as to what's required in each module. And as well, just as in IBDE, there is an opportunity to create some contacts through the Business Abilities program with other clients in the program. And really what this sort of happens after the program, we're finding, is we're seeing some connecting of clients. We'll often have a graduate of Business Abilities who didn't have a technology stream in their career come back and say, hey, I'm moving on with this new business idea. I need a logo. Do you have an IBDE graduate or student that you can suggest? So we'll often provide a list of names and contact information, and then coming back and saying, hey, I need a website. Can you recommend a graduate? And so we do retain a list of graduates from IBDE who are interested in getting some work and connecting with other participants from our programs. And lest I forget, the business coaching is really the key of the program. It's the personal contact. Our business coaches are true entrepreneurs. They've got a lot of experience being in business. They've gone out and they've been successful. They may have failed, but they're serial entrepreneurs. They know a lot about just the whole business world, a lot of the tools that are available. And they're great advisors. They're always willing to listen and give you advice and feedback and whatnot to help lead you forward into your career that's developing as an entrepreneur. And the value of the program, as I said, is really that we have experienced business coaches working in the program, providing professional input and feedback. And there on the screen is Doug, who's with us today. And our business coaches, I just can't say enough, but we did make that decision that we definitely hire true entrepreneurs as our business coaches who can provide the mentoring and the experience that really helps clients in the program move forward. The business coaches review the work, and they're great sounding boards. And then the really neat thing about the Business Abilities program is that we're able to provide business mentorship support during business startup. And oftentimes there are clients who are in touch while they're in business later on for the occasional questions. So we're always there throughout the years as well. This is what what we heard from our research study reported back to us. You can see what's really important to the clients is that our coaches are experienced, of course, is important, but they're supportive, accepting, understanding, patient. That came up really high as being important, that they listen, of course. But what I found really neat is you look out on the fingers there and it says kind. And my son's the same way. My son really, like, people pick up on kindness, right? So I think we always try and maintain that levelness as well. And we all respond well to kindness. So it's just really nice to see that reflected, that that's what our clients feel about our coaches. So just to finish off regarding business abilities, here's another of our graduates, Shirley, who's from British Columbia. And Shirley we've had a connection with for many years. She's been experiencing a lot of setbacks over the years with her health, but she has this dream to be a web developer, and she took the program quite early on. She did well. She went into the advanced and completed it as well, but she came back in the most recent year because technology changes so quickly. She wanted to make sure that she had the latest skills moving forward with her business. And so she did. She came back this year and completed the program again. But I like her quotation. She says, "The program saved my life, literally. I felt hopeless, and now I don't feel that way. I feel like I can control my destiny and do something to change my circumstances. It's a process. When disabled, you lose your self-esteem. I am a much better person now." And by the way, she calls her business Creative Chaos Web Design. So she's really focusing on the graphic design end of things. I really like these quotes, not for the sad messages contained, but I think in terms of my learning as a leader. I was attending some community meetings where agencies all meet together, and the theme one time was on poverty in our communities. And then, interestingly enough, I went back and I read these testimonials that never struck me in any way before, particularly. But when I read them now, I see that there's value in our programming as well in terms of helping to alleviate poverty in our communities and helping to improve the daily circumstances of families, of marital partners, just really helping the family unit as well. So Kalinga from British Columbia said, "It has been very difficult to come to terms with the changes in my life since the accident that left me with a brain injury 3 years ago. Programming in a quiet room is one of the few options I have now to contribute financially in my home. With this training, I have also been able to participate again in the business my husband and I built over the last 14 years. We are now able to offer web design as an option for our customers." Then Willie from Saskatchewan wrote, "The program was very detailed and very instructive. The program helped us tremendously, and it will help us make a living. Being a disabled person, I need that because I can't go out to work. This program allowed me to set up a home-based business for me and my wife to work at home." Yeah, so those are much more powerful statements to me than at one time when I used to read them. But I guess that's just a process of learning and growing that we all go through. So after reviewing the Business Abilities program in a bit more detail, I'm wondering if you may have any questions at this point. I'm wondering, I don't think either of you or Sean, you've not participated too much in our programs, but do you have any comments at all? Has anyone else participated? Or Jordan, any questions at this point? Okay.
I do have, it was about the previous apart, because I wanted to know if we could get the same skills if we opted to, say, have the option for entrepreneurship as we do for employment, and if we would be obtaining the same hard skills.
Okay, so are you thinking of the like the technology program in particular? Would you receive the same training whether you wanted to be an entrepreneur or become employed? Is that
Yeah.
what? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's exactly the same program.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so the courses run through website design, so just the design theory, and then Photoshop, like there's 4 weeks of Photoshop.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're into HTML. So HTML and CSS programming, like, because we really believe that to do anything on the internet, you need to understand code.
Okay.
Otherwise, I mean, there are fallacies out there that say you can just pick up and be a WordPress programmer, like a web developer. But yeah, you can, but you won't really understand, right? You won't. So we teach the coding, and then we're teaching Bootstrap, which is the latest and greatest in terms of designing a website. So that's just a really great tool that uses scripting. So again, sort of like programming and integrating JavaScript and jQuery, and then search engine optimization, so learning how to draw traffic, and that can help you, those skills can help you in both areas, in web development, but also anybody who's coding even a YouTube video, getting the keywords in there, right? Even writing a social media post. So the SEO, and then the final project, of course, so and a bit of PayPal in there. So the same thing is taught, to both those wanting to become self-employed and those wanting to become employed. So.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm, you're welcome. And Sean says there's nothing jumping to mind, and it's a good recap. Yeah, you've been in this presentation before, Sean. So you're getting your test an hour after. You get an hour to study up. Yeah. So, okay, that's great. I'm glad to get some feedback and questions coming in. And I think at this point, what I'll do is I'll just call on Doug Tardif. If there's anything I missed in particular about the Business Abilities program, Doug, or if there's something that you can add in terms of the entrepreneurs coming our way and perhaps what people are achieving through the Business Abilities program. Anything at all, if you're able to come on and...
Here I am.
Hello.
You haven't missed anything at all, Anne-Marie. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to say a couple of words. And I have a couple of points that I wrote down. And one was, I wrote 2 words, value proposition. And I really believe that we are very much differentiated from the other self-employment programs that are out there and are being offered. And the reason is that we just don't take our clients to the point of becoming proficient at writing a business plan. It's part and parcel of the journey that they're going to take with us. And we have broken our Business Abilities program into phase 1, phase 2, and there's a third phase which we don't speak about too much called aftercare. And in the phase 2 portion of the program, it's presumed that you've created your business plan and you're either planning or have your business already in place. And that's where I can speak for the other business coaches. We get the greatest amount of joy because we are entrepreneurs. We love it when people are getting involved with something that they feel passionate about. And we love encouraging them. We love giving them new ideas. We like participating in their business and challenging them from time to time so that they're going to be successful. So that's the most exciting part. And we're the only program out there that stays with the clients through the phase of actually creating a business. It's wonderful. Most exciting thing for me has been over the last 10 years that I've been with the program has been the number of people that have remained in what we call aftercare, and they contact the business coach from time to time. They've been successful in their business. They're running their businesses very well. But every now and then they want to check in with their business coach and get a perspective and an idea of whether or not they should be pursuing something a little bit different or expanding the company of some sort. And we're always delighted to spend some time with these clients and to discuss the points that they want to have. And if we can't help them out, we discuss it amongst ourselves as business coaches, and we'll even go out and try to find an expert or a consultant somewhere who'll be able to attend to it. So it's a very exciting part of the program for us. We don't see it that frequently as far as the aftercare is concerned, but it's an integral part. You do develop relationships in business, and you will develop a relationship with your business coach. And you can maintain that relationship, that business relationship, and use it to your advantage. It's an essential part. And, when you think about the value of having someone that you can call upon from time to time who understands the situation, they're very few and far between. And if you were paying for that service, it would be very, very expensive. The other thing I want to say is that we just don't get clients anymore who, I should rephrase that, we just don't get clients who want to start a business. We are actually getting clients who have launched into their enterprise to a certain extent, somewhat timidly, let's say, and they don't know whether or not they've actually made the right choice, and they need more mentoring assistance than they do in deciding whether or not they need startup assistance in getting going. And we've got a number of clients in the last couple of years that are doing absolutely exciting things. We've got two clients in particular right now who are working with drone technologies. It's very exciting. The work that they're doing is morphing in different areas that they never anticipated before. We've got businesses that are in the food distribution area, specifically in New Brunswick. Just a wonderful enterprise. We've had this client for a number of years. And we've got people who are entering into the niche markets. And one of the most difficult markets, and it's always, we always have mixed feelings about whether or not it's going to be successful, in people who are involved in the arts. And whether that be painting or whether it be furniture and things of that nature, collectibles. And so that we run the full gamut from completely right side of the brain to left side of the brain, and we're everywhere and everywhere else in between. So it's really exciting, but I really believe the heart of the program that we run and what differentiates us from everyone else is the fact that we follow you through your journey. We can be with you as long as you wish to be with us. And we look forward to working with you as well. So thank you, Anne-Marie.
Oh, great. Yeah. Good points there, Doug. I certainly missed a whole lot, didn't I? So no, it's great to know, you've worked in the field in Ontario and in other means, in other ways. And so you have that perspective as well. So great points for sure. So I'm just going to move to the next slide then. So just to close off, I want to bring a few things to your attention. I want to mention that we do have certain annual events that we're involved in putting on. We run a student showcase and website competition, and this is really exciting. This is where our graduates can enter the websites either that they've developed during their time in the program or that they've developed later on after graduating as a working professional in the field. It's really neat to see the skills develop when they're from the time that someone graduates to the time that they're a professional working in the field and bringing on their own customers. So this runs every May, and we're going to change the format in the coming year. We're going to make it more like, say, a Dragon's Den event that'll be judged by industry professionals. So we're working on getting some key players in the industry to come in and make it more of a panel judged event. So that's going to be really exciting in the next year. But if you'd like to check out some of the work of our graduates, Mary's provided the link in the chat area. And there's really some great work coming out of the program. And exciting now that they're building bootstrap sites as well. We also put together a calendar every year, and I hope you've received one. I know it's June, but Jordan, even if you'd like one, do let us know. It's a really amazing calendar to have sitting on your desk. It's desktop calendar, so it's functional, but it contains the work of the clients and graduates of our programs, and there's some incredible talent coming, amongst our clientele. It's just absolutely astounding. So we love putting this calendar together every year, and we usually print about 1,500 of them. So if you happen to be an artist and you become involved in our programs, either a photographer, digital artist, or an actual physical artist, we welcome your participation as well in future. Another thing we did, this is getting a little bit old. In 2015, we held a 10-year extravaganza, but I think it's still worth mentioning because if you do enjoy hearing stories, if you enjoy learning about people overcoming challenges in their lives, then this is a really neat thing to watch. We did record the extravaganza, and we didn't make it about celebrating our 10 years as an organization. We made it a celebration of what people are achieving, and we made it a celebration about what people can achieve when they receive support from as many people, as many organizations as possible, because in some situations that's what's required for success, and it's all about the support that people can receive. So we made it a celebration about that, and we have several of our own clients speaking about their experience on this video. We've got interviews with staff, interviews with board members, and yeah, it was a really neat event, and I'm glad we took the opportunity to celebrate 10 years of what we've been doing. It's important to mark the occasion, so that's what that was all about. And it tied in with us changing our name to Make a Change Canada as well. It really neat too, if you're a music enthusiast, in the intermission of the recording, there's a presentation by people with disabilities performing music out of Vancouver, and there's some really good music as well, and a wonderful mini documentary in the middle of this particular recording that we did. So if you're wondering about, as you become, more about us over time through the years, we value our connection with clients in our programs. So there's a number of ways to become involved. You can attend online sessions, of course. Maybe there's going to be an occasion down the road where you'll be willing to share your story. You can become a program ambassador. So if you like what we do, please tell others. Get the word out that we're here to help people. It's a place where people can find a new beginning and start to have some hope again and find some direction in their careers. So do share the word about us as well if you believe in what we're doing. You can also help out by volunteering, and we've had projects over the years where we have clients helping other clients. So we have had past graduates doing closed captioning of videos in order to make them accessible for new deaf clients coming into the program, and we actually had participants and other volunteers helping us with an accreditation to help us become accredited. And we had another project just with the extravaganza. There was a lot of opportunity to do story writing and newsletters and some promotion and social media posting and being a tweeter and all that kind of thing. So all that really adds up, and we really like to have a vibrant organization and see people become involved. We're on all the social media, so do follow us if you're an enthusiast in the social media. And please don't forget that we are a charitable organization and we welcome donations. It's really through donations that we're able to provide that extra level of support that participants in our programs need. You know, if a computer breaks down, that's it. Without a computer, you're finished in an online program. So it's through donations that we can provide a working computer. We can provide that extra peer tutoring support, internet connection for someone who can't afford it, maybe an office chair for someone who has back issues that needs any kind of accessibility aids and whatnot. So please keep that in mind through the years that we are a charitable organization. We're also an accredited organization, which we're really proud of, and we're only one of 225 charities within Canada that have gained that accreditation. So some important dates in terms of our programming. Remember that Business Abilities is a continuous intake. So you can apply anytime and be pretty much accepted into the program within about a month time period, even 2 weeks. Web Advanced program is in progress at this time, and Web Essentials starts in the fall of 2013. I'm wondering if there's any final thoughts or feedback that you may have. Have you been able to take anything away of value from today's session? Is there any last questions that we can answer while we've got everyone here? Any final comments? Remember that we will be sending out a a presentation evaluation link where you can provide your feedback, and we really would appreciate you completing that survey as well. So I don't see any comments coming in or hands up. So at this point, please do feel free to be in touch with our staff. Contact us at any time. We're always happy to hear from you and are here to help. We have our toll-free number. We have our websites and contact forms on all sites, and even in our social media, you could message us in Facebook in a pinch, and we'll be back in touch with you as soon as we possibly can. So please do be in touch if any questions or if there's any way that we can help you out. So that's it for today's session. I want to thank you for attending and wish you to have a wonderful day, and please keep in touch. Thank you so much for attending today. Have a wonderful day.